Welcome back to Chelwong's Cool Knife Corner. Today we're going to be comparing the Kraken and the Squidtrainer. This is the 2.5, this is the V4, this is the V3 Squidtrainer, and this is the Block Squawk, which is titanium rehandle by Blocks on a Squidtrainer blade. And I'm just going to tell you kind of about all of these. I do have a Bowie speed channeled Kraken coming soon. So I'm going to do a video at some point comparing all the configurations. Tanto versus Bowie and speed channel versus not. That's going to be 4 configurations. So that's going to be a hoot. Anyways, though, here we have the Kraken. This is, as I like to always say, the gold standard of Balisong flipping. It is pretty ubiquitously known. It's very easy to get your hands on. There is a trainer version, and apparently the trainer version is a little bit more handle biased. I had a trainer for a short bit, but it was such a short amount of time that I barely flipped it. But the Kraken is a slight handle bias, aluminum channel Balisong. It's fun. It flips well. For aluminum, it's got pretty good grip. It's got face grip with texture, just kind of a crosshatch texture. Let's see if you can see it. It's probably very visible on Squid's website. And there's face milling as well as these holes through. On the back, there are faux speed channels, which is nice, and some jimping. I know in the V3 the jimping is deeper, and I think some of the milling is just deeper, like the face grips. But the 2.5 is still perfectly fine in my opinion. I had a V3 and then I sold it because I wanted money, but also just fuck. I am perfectly happy with this Kraken and just how it looks with the ink blade and also just the color of the handles. The other one was dual tones too, so it was actually quite pretty. I almost kept it. So the Kraken, it's not too heavy. It's like 4.2 to 3. I'm gonna double check. And 4.3 on the dot for this. Now it's fun. It comes, like I said, it comes with a live blade and a trainer. And you can't go wrong with a Kraken. Honestly, I feel like any flipper who has a collection more than just budget knives probably has at least one Kraken or has at least flipped a Kraken or owned a Kraken at some point. So they're really easy to find in the secondhand market. Sometimes they range between as high as $280 based on whether or not the blade is inked, or if it's Bowie, or if it's speed channel, or if it's dual tone. Like some of the dual tone is just whether or not the face milling is happens after they color it versus before. So it's it's more expensive, I guess. But it's just aesthetic. Versus also as well inked is just aesthetic. But some people say that it helps protect the blade more, but then also any scuffing is more visible. So if you're interested in getting a Kraken, you can find them as high as 280 or as low as 180 or even 150 based off of the quality of whether or not it's bead or anything. But yeah, despite being a channel aluminum knife, which a lot of people hate on aluminum, this is a very reliable, nutty Balisong. I also have this on stainless steel washers. And I have titanium hardware, which just looks nice, but it also came with it. Now the Squidtrainer is heavier and shorter and more handle biased. The Squidtrainer comes in at 4.48, at least for the V4. The V3 is exactly 4.48. Shit. And I might as well just weigh this. The titanium Kraken rehandle on the Squidtrainer blade is 4.3. So I guess it's simply the handles. Now, actually, what's interesting is these handles are shorter, but they have a different texture. This one feels grippier in a sense, whereas this one's smoother. And I remember the Kraken V3 also still had a smooth texture, whereas the Squidtrainer is a different style. Instead of being this crosshatch, it's more like a... Oh, jeez, I don't know if I can get it to show up. It's a very distinct... You might have to check out Squid's website if my camera won't cooperate for showing the texture. Yeah, so it feels unique in the hand. They're both press fit Zen pins. But the Squidtrainer is just a little heavier and more handle bias. Now I was worried because I like my knives light and neutral, but despite that, it's still very agile, especially on bushings. It feels very good, and it just, I don't know, it feels it feels unique enough. Like if you can only have one and you want one versus the other, that's a conversation that I might get to later. But if you have one and you're like, do I need the other? It doesn't actually hurt. Like I'm happy. I'm gonna keep this one because there's especially a limited edition one that's very pretty. It has penguins on it. I love penguins. Mine has penguins on it. Penguins. Yeah, penguins. They're hard to see. Now the question is a V3 versus a V4. If you can find a V4 on the secondhand market, they usually sit around 120. The Squidtrainer is like 160 retail. So if you can find a used V4, it's usually around 120ish or about. Finding one for under $100 is like pretty rare. But a beater V3, you can probably find 80 or lower. I'm trading this one, so. And I find that the V3 rings more. I just made a video about it. V4 doesn't ring as much. And let's see, the blade, of course. The Squidtrainer only comes on trainer blades, and they look like this. They have two big, like, lines. And as this Tanto, opposed to this one, which is, it's like similar. But the blade is wider and shorter as well. Or no, the blade's actually like the same length now that I realize it, but it is a little wider. You can actually also put these handles on these blades. Like you can interchange them. Not too many people do, but I didn't know that until I got my Blocks titanium trainer. And so I was like, oh, huh. And so I tried it. The titanium rehandle actually on the Kraken blade, it does feel similar to a Kraken, but it's not the same. It just, the texture just isn't the same. As you can see, there's just these big face holes, and there's none of that grip that's similar to the pattern. That's just expensive if you're independent shop, and the jimping is much deeper. So if you're looking for a titanium rehandle, Blocks has a nice one. There's someone else that has one, I just don't remember who. But I feel like the Kraken it's pretty damn good as it is. And anyone that hates on aluminum just doesn't really, I don't know. I find that I don't know. I think aluminum's fine. It has problems, but as long as you address those problems, then it's good. But the Kraken is just really fun, and the Squidtrainer, it feels, I don't know, it just feels kind of like what the Kraken would feel if it was a little squatter. Like it's wider. Like the handles wider? The handles are, actually, if anything, the Kraken handles are wider. Yeah, the Kraken handles are like relatively the same width. The length is slightly on the Kraken side. Like the width goes, it goes up to the pivot, like halfway to the pivot. So it just feels squatter with the width of the blade and the length of it. And it's heavier too. So some people might not be interested in that. Like if I watch this video, I would be like, I don't know if I need a Squidtrainer. But now that I have it in my hand, very much is still really fun. It has good grip, can still fan despite being more handle bias. And yeah, like the Squidtrainer was what like basically made trainers more available and not looking like shit. Because honestly, the Benchmade 42 trainer just looks fucking ugly. It just has like holes in its this rounded blade and just so fucking stupid. So now the question is like, which one would you get? Which one should you get? This is about $60 less. Now if you are in the range of like, ooh, I want a Balisong, do I get a Mako? Like I'm not crazy about the Mako now that I've had more and better. Mako still flips well. It has a lot of flaws, and it's kind of expensive for relative to its competition. And then there's the Triton, which is like, what if the Mako looked less interesting and was like slightly better, and it's like 20 bucks more. But if you're gonna get a Triton, you might as well get a Squidtrainer. So instead of being like 120 for the Triton, it's like 100 for the Mako. 100, no, it's like 90 for the Mako. Sorry, I always think about the Mako being. No, actually, it is 100. Sorry, I'm so sorry. It's like $99 for the Mako, and then if it's inked, it's like 115. So Mako's like 100, Triton's like 120, Squidtrainer's 160, and these are like kind of like the standard Balisong flipping experience, and the Kraken is like 220. So like these four are like the standard Kraken, like the standard squid experience for flipping. There's also the Nautilus and the Swordfish, and then the Tsunami, but they're different. I would not say the Swordfish or the Nautilus are like standard flipping experiences. They're their own thing. Now, skip the Triton. Just don't. I would say avoid the Mako if you have $100. Get an Orion if you don't. If you're looking for a beater, if you're looking for a budget knife, if you're looking for something to get into the starting, maybe get a Volp. I think the Volp, honestly, it's fine. It has some problems, but the Volp is good. It's reliable, and it supports someone who I think is really cool. So now if you're in that territory, you're like, oh, I have less than $200, then yeah, the Squidtrainer is perfectly fine. I think it's really fun. I don't necessarily think the Kraken is better, but it is definitely more popular. So take that what you will. Like, you can extract what you want from that. I would say that the Squidtrainer flips really, really fun, especially when it's on bushings. I don't have to worry about like the stupid tuning issues with the washer knives like I did with the Mako and with this V3. And the Kraken, it feels more like the standard flipping, and so like if you want a Kraken, you probably already have one, or you're looking to get one, and it's really, 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 really easy to find them on the secondhand market. Squidtrainers are in general less common, but like they're cheaper. So I would say, I guess if you had 160, you could find a Kraken secondhand on the market for probably around that price if it's a little beat. If it's a V2.5 or earlier, some people are still selling their V2s for over $200 and whatever. Power to them. I don't know how often they sell. And then honestly, I don't know if I would say I don't know if I would. I bought this for a really good price, and I bought it in a bundle, and my seller had debt that like this cleared. So I was like, okay, would I get this again? Honestly, I don't think I would. This is the V1 of the block handles. The V2 is more rounder. I've not flipped a V2. But I don't know if I would bother getting them. I think they're well made, and I think that if you want a titanium Kraken, fucking go for it. Who's gonna stop you? God himself. But it just is, I don't know, it's a facsimile to the Kraken flipping experience. And this is on the Squidtrainer blade, so I'm not even saying that this is like this or like this. It's somewhere even different because also the handles feel different. It's its own thing. So honestly, I could keep all three of these, though I do have a theoretical offer on this one. But at the end of the day, I guess I would say the Kraken is probably better. Is it $60 better? I don't know. But it is better. It sounds really good. It feels really balanced for the most part. It is handle biased, but not terribly handle biased to the point where it's uncomfortable. I found the Mako was really hard for me to fan for some reason. Well, I was also just beginning, but you can still fan this like pretty easily. First time I had the IBAS was really hard for me to fan. Squidtrainer can also still fan pretty well, but it definitely does feel a little heftier. And that heftiness is not a bad thing. If you prefer heftier knives, then maybe you like the Squidtrainer more. Like if you like the AB or the IBAS, those knives are like pushing, they're like 5 ounces or more. Squidtrainer is like 4.6, I think I said. So it's a little closer if you're looking for like a beater budget Balisong that's like to your preferences, heavier, more handle bias. But yeah, I don't know. I think they're all good. I've flipped most of Squid's products. Not the Tsunami, not the Madco. I will hopefully try Spiral Kraken soon, as well as the Madco, and not the Triton, because why does the Triton exist? But yeah, I think you won't go wrong if you have a V4 Squidtrainer with bushings. or if you have a Kraken. I think regardless, either one will be good. Does that really say much? I don't know, but this is just my thoughts. I've just been thinking about this. And if you do get a V3.5 or earlier for the Squidtrainer, just buyers beware. It is on washers only. Still flips great. This is really fun. And this V3 is like, it's a really, really good beater. It already was beat. And if it wasn't, if this inked blade wasn't so scuffed, I might have swapped the blade out. Anyways, though, that's all for now. If you like these videos, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. If you like the Squidtrainer more, or the Kraken, or if you like the Squidtrainer handles on the Kraken, or the Kraken handles on the Squidtrainer. I'm legitimately curious. What do you think? If you have strong opinions about the titanium rehandles, let me know your thoughts. Also, check out the coffee in my description. A couple of bucks helps make me sustain this channel. It lets me keep making these things. And yes, I get a lot of knives. I do also sell a lot of knives, so I don't necessarily keep them all, but there's always shipping. And a couple of bucks, like $3, that helps me with shipping. That's it. It helps me with shipping. It's just a little bit of overhead cost. So throw in a couple bucks, it does help legitimately. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Happy flipping.